Good morning. It is 6:58 a.m. on Wednesday, October 21st, 2020. I'm Christiana Ellis and I just got up. Sort of. This is 5 more minutes. Boy, Rocket is just in a mood this morning for some reason. He is just, you know, uh he's pulling stuff out of the recycling bin. He's restless walking back and forth. I don't know what's going on with him today. I mean, I think he answers kind of nothing. He's just a dog, you know. But yeah, he just can't decide what it is that he wants to chew on today. Feeling those chewing urges, I guess, maybe. But yeah, so you know, he's fine. But it's just a matter of I like keep like looking like, wait, what? Where'd he go? I don't hear anything for a second. What has he got? And then that's paired with him finding something to chew on, or like deciding he needs to carry his bone around, which makes loud noises every time he drops it on the floor. Um, it's a thing, right? So in any case, it's fine. He's fine. We're all fine here. How are you? The I finished the Haunting of Bly Manor last night on Netflix, which is sort of I've mentioned it a couple times, so you guys can figure it out in terms of what it is. What I'll say about it is that I thought that the ending was really lovely. I feel like you could make a case that it's got some tropes in the ending that I won't get into, except to just suggest that there are tropes that um, sometimes people use as like this is a bad thing. It's it shouldn't be done. But I feel like my take on the story is that that's not what the ending's about. But your mileage may vary in that regard. I don't want to spoil things, so I won't say more than that. So much as to just kind of like, if someone were to make that argument about the ending, it's like I would have a hard time disagreeing that it's not there, but at the same time, I feel like in the context it's surrounded with, it kind of makes it a different thing. Anyway, yeah, it's interesting just to compare that series against the previous season, The Haunting of Hill House, because I feel like The Haunting of Hill House, in my opinion, I think maybe pressed more of my buttons throughout most of it. But then I really didn't care for the ending of that season. I felt like it got all the way to the end and then just was unafraid, or it was afraid to really land the final blow. And it kind of pulls the punch at the end in a way that I was pretty disappointed by. And like, they wanted to try to give themselves sort of a pseudo happy ending, except that it's kind of really not, but then they sort of play it like it is, and then it's just like the tone of the show just becomes a mess at the end of that one. Whereas this one I feel like is a lot more consistent in the sense that, like, at the end the story is about the things that it was at the beginning, and that although there are some elements of the ghost story that don't make like sense, like logical sense, they make a kind of emotional sense. I think one of the things with a lot of ghost stories, you hear Rocket dragging the 2-liter bottles around. God, I hope that doesn't make a lot of noise through the floor to my neighbors downstairs. I think it probably does. Anyway, yeah, so like I was saying, there's a lot of things in ghost stories where like we're not meant to understand why something happens, but you can sort of figure out like the rules of it, right? And it's not that you understand why those are the rules, but if you can at least figure out the rules, then you can navigate it at least to some extent. And I think mostly it works on that level in Bly Manor, and that everything kind of has a through line. I don't think the highs are quite as high as the highs of Hill House, but it's much more consistent overall and doesn't let itself down at the end. So that's my final review on The Haunting of Bly Manor. So I'll leave it there, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow for 5 more minutes.